happy that you're here today, as always, when we get together. And whoops, sorry. So, beautiful day out today, beautiful spring day. I'm really, really happy about just everything today. I woke up feeling really, really happy, which is not unusual. Anyway, let's unite with one another through the sacred sound of Om, the sound that lives within each of us, that reverberates throughout the entire universe of which we are a part of, and to always remember that we are a part of something that's much bigger than our own self. And Oming helps us to know that because Om lives inside of us. And we're learning how to move that through us back out to from wherever it came from. So really feel the spirit of emptiness in its highest form within you. And let that sound start to well up from deep, deep inside of you. Om. Om.
What is she doing?
Om. So today I wanted to talk a lot about quietness, stillness, and a Sanskrit word of seva. Seva is spelled S-E-V-A. Seva is a word that when you translate it into English, it's service. And you can see S-E-V-A in S-E-R-V-I-C-E. Seva, service. Service to others is like Om. It moves through you out into the universe and it reverberates. Seva is something where we usually think of it as feeding other people. But that's not the only way to give service. It's a beautiful way to give service. And there isn't enough of even feeding other people. But seva has a lot to do with being aware of really how much that you have. And that's not always easy because quite often we're saying, I don't have enough. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough health. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. I'm not saying that isn't true. But what I'm saying is we fill our mind with how we don't have enough. So it seems like we're empty. But spiritual emptiness has nothing to do with, I don't have enough. Enough means you have something, but you still feel deprived. I don't have enough means I have some, but I don't have enough to give. I don't have enough to share. So Seva is about this awareness of how rich we really are inside. I really feel like it's an aspect of gratitude. Seva is really a very good way to show others how grateful you are for what you have. Your education, your awareness, your peace, your food, your financial strength, whatever it may be. Seva and gratitude go hand in hand. It's a way to show others, I'm so grateful that I have received help from other people. Now I want to return that. Of course, there's always people who say, nobody helped me. I did this all by myself. Not if you're around other humans. We all contribute to one another. And interestingly enough, sometimes people help us in a way where really it doesn't look like they helped us at all. So A few weeks ago, there was a little kerfuffle in my neighborhood, and things kind of got a little odd and um, difficult. Through that difficulty, the people in my neighborhood are mostly younger families. I'm the I'm the old lady here. I've lived here long enough for that to see different generations come and go in my neighborhood. This particular generation of families came together very spontaneously with one another because of this incident. And they had a group chat. And it started to evolve and it started to move. And there's things about, do you have any of this? Or have you seen that? Or do you need help? Or there's these very interesting sort of things that started to happen in a sense of sharing and gratitude and awareness. So this morning, there was this wonderful egg hunt that happened. Last night, we received a text about that somebody wanted to do this for the children because there's a whole nother little generation of children in the neighborhood now. And sure enough, everybody said yes. Not everybody, but most people said yes. And this morning we woke up to going out onto the lawn, and there's little plastic eggs with candy and whatnot in them. And one of the neighbors everywhere, in the trees, on the mailbox, everywhere you could see there was these eggs all up and down the block. There was even a hopscotch that was made by a family of girls and their mom. When the hopscotch had eggs that were chalked into it, beautiful, Happy Easter and things like that in it. It was so sweet. It was so sweet. That's a type of seva, to come together spontaneously. Nobody said we should. Nobody even asked for permission. They just said, hey, how do you feel about this? And really, nobody said they feel good or bad about it. They just said, hey, I could do this or I could do that. Um, Ruby is here, and she did her part too. She did the eggs from us, and she made little desserts and took them out and gave them to the parents that were out there. So it was this wonderful little. We live in the same neighborhood, and it gives us a sense of family. We could live in the same neighborhood and not have that. And many people do. I've lived here where that wasn't that way. But it is now. But it was born out of something that was unpleasant. And from that unpleasantry, it brought out a sense of, I want to help. I want this to be better. How can we make this better? And then from there, it just started to move into other things. But I use this as an example because, like I've told you before, the way that I was taught about spirituality is you only teach the things that you know that you know. And the only thing that I know is like when I tell you little stories like this, so that you see these little stories can be other kinds of stories in your neighborhood or in your family or someplace that you go and you see people who don't even know each other spontaneously helping somebody who fell, or they're like, where's my dog? And people are like, well, let me help. What does he look like? So there's human beings all have light, and we want to shine that light on others. So service helps us to not think about, am I giving too much? Because we like to say, well, I want to give, but not too much, right? Not too much. It's not about how much you give. It's about the openness of your heart. You could give this much, and it means this much. You could give this much stuff, but it only means this much. So seva is not about how much stuff, how much time, how much energy that you're actually putting into it. It has to do with how much heart that you put into it, how spontaneous it is, how it's just right there. You're not even thinking about it. You're not wanting to be the one who did the most in the group. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Hey, you guys aren't doing enough. If there's a group of people coming together, it's just about peacefully. If you see a hole, you put something into it. You know, it's about noticing where there's something that's missing and you have that peace. You're like, oh, there's something missing over here. Let me go home and get that piece and put it back in there. So it's better, it's easier. Picking up things off of the sidewalk so nobody trips over it. Little things like that. And to not have to be praised for it, to not have to be thanked for it, to not have it even be seen. Maybe you never ever tell anybody that you did something. It's about remembering, particularly in a time when throughout the world we're not really thinking about giving to one another, not en masse. I don't want to be politically involved when we speak together. I just want you to know that what's happening in various countries around the world, if we took the names of those countries off of the maps, what would we have? The same conflicts. We get so involved in this is the name of this group, and this is the name of that group, and those people over there, this is their name. And this group over here, this is their name, they're troublemakers. And this group over here, no, 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 they're like us, so they're not troublemakers, even though they're doing the same thing that we say that these troublemakers are making over here. We have all these labels, and then we put people into categories of good and bad. And these people we could help, but they have enough anyway. But with these people we could help who don't have enough, but no, they're not good enough to receive our help. This could be in your neighborhood. This could be another country. This could be anywhere. So we hold back because we decide that other people don't need our help. And one of the best ways to help is to help yourself. To help yourself to be calm more inside so that you can see more clearly. So that you have a calmness about you that permeates out into the world. It's important to remember that every single thought that I think moves through my body and it affects my body. And we know that because sometimes people say, "Oh gosh, my stomach is a little upset. I've been a little emotional, so it's kind of affected my stomach." Or we recognize that. I've had too much of this, so it's making my head hurt. My allergies are making me hurt. Things from the outside world, things from the inside world affect our bodies. So we do know that thoughts are a vibration and they do affect our body. They do. Like I say, I can't move my hand unless I have a thought. Thoughts, as you consciously raise your thoughts and help yourself to reduce thoughts that are like, ugh, don't like that person, or oh, that's really ridiculous. Did you see what that person was wearing today? Oh my God. All of these kinds of thoughts, they go out and they create balls of energy. And we all live within those balls of energy. And then they start to affect us, even if we're not thinking about it. Suddenly we start to think about these bad thoughts because they're in the air. Just like pollen's in the air affects your body, thoughts in the air from other people affect our body. So as we teach ourselves to understand that we're part of the air, we're part of humanity. Our thoughts are part of their thoughts. When we start to really understand that, then we start to understand the word unity, that it's made up of all these individuals. And each individual is very important, which is really difficult. I mean, it seems like simple math, you know? We don't have to count how many individuals there are on the planet, but there are a lot of individuals thinking a lot of different thoughts. And it's important that we help ourselves with that process. Do we want to help ourselves to have more peace? Why would she ask me that? I don't know that I want peace, because that would mean I would be dull. Nothing. What would I be like? I wouldn't have any more ambition. I couldn't accomplish my goals. I wouldn't be able to do these things. You see, I'm putting that tone in my voice. This means because we have a fear that we are not enough. Peace. Peace is a really big word. And it's such an important word and it's such a big goal, which is why we don't have much of it in our individual selves, in our families, in our groups, in our countries, in our planet. Peace requires cooperation. Peace requires inner strength. Peace requires an awareness that we are enough. Peace requires visualization. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Why would we want peace? Why would we want any peace? We don't like those people, or we don't like this, we don't like that. We want to get rid of all of this and that. And it's not peaceful people wanting to get rid of other people, even though the power of peace is latent within them. It's latent within every one of us. But we have to be spiritually aware to understand this. And that's not something everybody wants, but they do want it. They do want it. There's just false beliefs that somehow or another anger and violence and opposition and defiance and all of this is going to lead us to peace. I don't think so. Not even reasonable if you really say it out loud like that. How can opposition or war lead us to peace? So sometimes families are at war with each other, which is why countries could be at war with each other. You see, anything that you see on a large scale on the planet between countries, countries are made up of humans. So that means there's smaller circles, smaller circles. So what happens in a small circle affects the big circles. The big circles, of course, continue to affect the smaller circles. And we don't have a lot of people talking about peace. We talk about blaming. It's their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. But we can't do anything until they change. And we're just going to take all this from these people so these people can do this. It's exhausting. So I'm going to stop talking about it. So what does peace feel like? Peace feels like inventiveness, imagination, creativity, dreams about what could possibly happen, free thinking on the possibilities of what the world could actually feel like, look like, become through the efforts of peace. When we have a place inside of us where there's peace, we have a space that is nurturing. Peace is like a wonderful mother. And it says, hey, you could do anything. A wonderful mother will always tell you, you can do anything. So it's us helping ourselves to go, hey, we don't have to do all that we've always done before. We don't have to like hate. We don't have to have war. Those are really, really old thoughts. It's 2026. It's 2026. We can grow out of this. We can outgrow the old way of doing things. We can actually come together with our dreams and respect one another. Oh, you're dreaming that dream? I thought about it, but I have my dream. Well, tell me about your dream. Wow, that's really cool. That would actually help me with my dream. And then you pull your dreams together. Now you have a bigger dream and it helps other people. And the more we help one another, the more we have peace. The more we have peace, the more imagination is free to grow and to develop. Where cities turn into things that right now we can't even conceive because we don't let our imaginations understand that we could live in cities that don't have so much pollution. We can live in the countryside where farming is something that really has a whole new idea of how it can happen. Peace, peaceful minds have the ability to dream, to imagine, to visualize. We don't have to do it the same way we've always done it. Not at all. We have new generations coming up all the time. And the more that the older generations show them, hey, let me support you on thinking about peace. Let me support you on being able to be inventive, to be creative, to open your imagination because my generation is leaving. We did what we could. And now we need to leave you with these seeds for a whole different tomorrow. One that has the absence of war, the absence of starvation, the absence of illiteracy, the absence of drought. Here are the seeds. Take your turn. Step up. Take your turn. Don't get caught up in this is what they left us. They're old. They need to go away. We know we're old. We know we're going away. But don't spend your time thinking about that. Spend your time thinking, here's what we have. We have these seeds and we have human beings. Each generation can come and contribute to dreaming, to inventing, to imagining, to creating. They don't have to follow in the narrow footsteps of what the people before only knew, thought that they could do. They really did think that war was going to work. You can go back thousands of years. War seemed to be, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That'll work. But you see, war has become very advanced and very, very dangerous on a very large scale in a very short time. We have to be very careful. It's outgrown its usefulness. Seva, service to others without thought of return, is one of the best ways that we can do that. To give of your heart. And you may say, I don't even know where to start. I don't want to dream about how the world can be. Why not? When you dream about your own future, envision it in a space that's allowing your dream to unfold. See, we narrow it. We're going, this is what I want. And that there's a big kind of unfortunate thing that's happening where very young people want to be famous. At what, you may say? I don't think that's important. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. Well, what does that mean? Money. That's not enough. These are not seeds that are prosperous from us to them. So I don't say this about younger generations like, oh, these kids. No. I'm like, hey, us that are older, we have to like help them to know this is what they have, which is really a lot more than what they think. And to really be respectful of themselves and want to dream, to invent, to want to dream, to be creative in the technology field, in agriculture, in education, in all kinds of business, to really redream the dream that they were handed. Redream it. Come from your generation because you're going to leave it to another generation. And the other generation that you're going to leave it to is probably the one that my generation is going to come back to be again. So if you can't be motivated in any other way except for reincarnation, know that you'll come back and you don't want to come back to more of this in a much bigger space of yuck. So we want to help ourselves to know that peace in our own mind drives us to think about inventions that are peaceful. And peaceful means where it's not so wasteful. Energy is handled more respectfully. Individuals are handled more respectfully. Every dream is handled with more respect. How will this affect the air and the water? What will happen if we do it this way? How many people can actually benefit from this dream? There is enough opportunity to dream like this so everyone's employed in helping one another. We just go too fast. Quick, build this thing. Yeah, but it's dirty. It'll make the air dirty. It's okay. We'll figure that out later. No, we have to help ourselves, whether we're young or whether we're old. We have to remember, shh, and hear. There's enough for everyone. It's just that it's still in seed form. The thoughts are seeds. We don't always remember that there's enough for everyone. There is enough water. There is enough air. There is enough soil. There is enough creativity, sustainability. There is enough love. But we have to grow love. You have to tend it so it has a space to move through you and to move through and touch others so that we all grow on this garden called Earth. We have to tend to ourselves. We have to learn to heal our own wounds. Because a lot of times we say, I can't do anything because I've been so wounded from my past. I can't give to anyone. I just can't. I can't even stand the thought of it. Okay. Then let us serve you by just sending you energy. We forget that you see thoughts are prayers. Prayer is just a fancy word for sending really good thoughts out into the world. It's just a fancy word. You don't have to be put off by it. You don't even have to use the word if you don't like it. Prayer has to do with taking a moment to forget about thinking for yourself and to think for someone else. Your thoughts not only affect your own body, but they affect others. We all know that sometimes we'll be someplace else and we get a phone call and we'll be like, oh, I was just thinking about you. Oh, well, I was thinking about you. Here we are talking now. Energies from our minds move to other people. Of course they do. If I can't speak, it doesn't mean that I don't have something to say. It doesn't mean I'm not thinking. It doesn't mean I'm not feeling. And my body is not so concrete that my thoughts stay inside of me. Thoughts are vibrations, and they move through me. If I'm anxious and my body does this, I'm exaggerating so you can see it. If I'm anxious and my body does this, where did that come from? My thoughts. If I'm like this, it comes from my thoughts. We may say, no, that comes from the events that happened. Yes, and those events came from thoughts. Pollution came from thoughts. Every single thing that's on this planet came from thoughts. So if we produce what we have through thoughts, we can raise those thoughts. We can raise them up. And when you see one person raising it up and you go, gosh, let me help you with that. But I only have one hand. Hey, let's do it. I only have one finger. Let's do it. I don't have any hands or fingers. Let's do it. It's all right. We're human beings. We're human beings. We can do this. If we can do all the things that are causing so many problems in the world today, we can do the opposite. If in your home you make a mess, you look at it, you know you can clean it up. You know you can change. If you've hurt your back, you know that you can do something to help yourself. Maybe you don't end up in the way that you wanted to, but you end up with a lot more if you pay attention. What I've gone through with my back has changed me inside too. It's not just a physical injury. It's something that had to change me also inside so I could go deeper into my practice. It's created a deeper foundation, which actually has made me more happy. Ironically. So I say this to you because if this is happening to you, then the opposite is also true. If there's hate in the world that seems to be dominating, there's love, love, love. And love is light. It always covers the darkness. Because in the darkness, darkness is never fully dark. Light is always inherent in dark. We look out into space and we're like, oh, it's dark out there. Way, way dark out there. But light is inherent in it. There's all these other dimensions that we can't see. But they're there, and they're made of light. There are galaxies and all kinds of things way out there that we can't even see through our telescopes. Light, light, light. Light is everywhere. We're made of light. Yes, we are. I can prove it to you. Touch yourself. Oh, you're warm. Where there's warmth, there's light. It's fire. Fire is light. Fire is warmth. Fire is light. We're like the sun. We're alive like the sun. We're made of fire, light, and we emanate. So we're teaching ourselves that by the thoughts that we think, our light gets brighter and it gets stronger. Our minds get stronger. Our ability to control our emotions so that they don't overpower us gets stronger. Our bodies get stronger. Our ideas, our creativity, our fearlessness to create gets stronger. It's light emanating from us. It's not easy though. I hope that what I'm saying doesn't make it sound like I think this is all like easy peasy. It's not easy. But once you start practicing the awareness of light and emanating light, things get better. And that gives you the proof that what you're doing by helping yourself to be more grateful, to be more generous, to be more of service to others, you start to feel better. You start to feel better. You start to feel stronger. You start to have more hope. You know, hope has this side to it when people talk about it. I don't want to get my hopes up. You mean you don't want any light? No, it's not that. I'm just afraid that I'll fall into the darkness. But you're already in the darkness. Don't you want out? The only way out is to remember that you carry light. When we look into each other's eyes, what do you see? You see light. When a person is deceased, the light isn't there. We're living beings. We're made of light. When we leave our bodies, the light still is alive. It just is not housed in the body anymore. That's as deep as I'm going to go with that. So we want to remember that we are made of light. Our thoughts are made from fire. So like, you know, like even in an animated kind of version, doo, you know, there's a light bulb on the top of your head, you know, boom, ding, I got an idea. Or it lights us up. Oh my gosh, joy lights us up. Whew, the energy moves from us. That's where peace is born from. To remember that you want light, you want to have warmth, fire at its highest, its best. It warms one another. It's ideas that provide housing, that provides food, that provides education, that provides all kinds of proper uses of all of our resources. Light, the power of light in your mind. So this is service to others. Service to others. So we want to remember that darkness is only the absence of light. That's all. The absence of how we could experience light, because the light is still there. There's light in the entire universe because the universe is a living being and everything in it is alive. We live in this universe. Did you see those pictures from the astronauts about the Earth? Did you see that shining jewel in that sea of darkness? Did you see that planet? That's your home. That's my home. That's where we live. We live in this, on this beautiful planet that glows. It glows. And every inhabitant, whether it be a fish or a tree or a human or a doggy, we all glow. We all glow. We live on this glowing ball that's in constant contact with the sun. We're all about light. Everything about us is about light. It's all light. And so we do the same thing that the earth does, that the sun does. We glow. So the darkness is just places inside that you can't see the light that's there, but it's there. Where there's a shadow, does that mean that there's no light there? No. Just means that there's the power of light as we can see it and detect it. It doesn't show up there, but it's still there. There's light everywhere. Everywhere that there's space out in the universe, there is light. All of these planets and moons and stars and all these things all came from the same birth. Big Bang. So everything, the planets, the galaxies, and space that we see as darkness all came from this. So darkness still has light in it because it's part of this great, big, living being that we lovingly call the universe. This does not oppose science. Mm-mm. Everything is alive. And the more that we understand that, the more that we can become so grateful that we were born human beings. We live on this planet. The yogis say that this is a school, and such an incredible school that beings that we can't even have any sort of comprehension or aware of long to be able to have a lifetime here. And here we are going, you're kidding. Here? Yikes. No, that's impossible. It's really weird that she would say such a thing. Because we think this is so horrible and awful and painful and everything. And it can be horrible and awful and incredibly painful. It's absolutely true. And then what happens? That's where we begin to learn the lessons of the power of light through darkness. Through an injury, that's like darkness. And you have to remember that inherently in the darkness is light. In my little neighborhood, there was a little bit of some darkness that happened. And through that, suddenly came all of these new sources of light. So you see, when we practice seva, helping ourselves to give to others, even if you can't go out and do physical seva, you can do spiritual seva, cleaning yourself up, making sure, where there's darkness in there to help yourself. And you know somebody who's depressed or they have a mental illness of some sort, make sure that you send them love. Maybe you know somebody who's suffering from the darkness of addiction. I say darkness in the sense lovingly, I say that because they feel bound. You can send them light. You can call it love, or you can just say, I'm sending them light. It's your intention more so than the actual word that you say. The words are important, don't get me wrong. But more important than that, it's the intention behind the word. Because people can say, oh, yeah, hi, yeah, I'm your friend. But they already had done some backstabbing thing going on. You see, the words are important, of course. But what intention did you have behind it? Because the intention is what's going to affect the other person. The intention. The intention to mislead. The intention to love. All these intentions, it's our intention. And we have to learn to set intentions within us, to have the intention to fill ourselves with light. The light meditation is about really feeling, first of all, becoming aware of this light that's around you. And you can put a candle in front of you, or you can, or you could put a light or something in front of you, and you can let yourself look at it and draw that back into you. Draw it to this place right here. Because this is where you vision. This is where you vision. And then let that light start to fill your head. Because what's inside of your head is that amazing brain that we have. But it's not where we live. It's part of our body. And it's processing our thoughts. So it needs to be cleaned out. You have to go to the dentist and get your teeth cleaned. Well, the light meditation can help to clear out your brain of all the darkness by you being very, very quiet. Very hard. There's nobody out there or here that has perfect quietness in their mind, in their brain. So we have to work on it. You have to work on it, and you fill your whole head with the light, and you let it move through you, move through all parts of you. And you very carefully take it all the way down to your feet. Let it come out your feet, out your hands, out your shoulders, out your back, out everywhere, so that you are in the center of the sun. See? And then from there, you ask it to move out through your neighborhood, out through your country, out all the way around the planet. You see, this is creative thinking. This is creativity. Because I could sit here and go, well, these bad people are doing this and now, well, let me get my phone out and see how many bad people I could think about today and how many bad words I can think about today and all of that bad stuff. Oh, and it's very addictive, isn't it? Because we're also looking into light. What comes back to you from the phone? Light. Who invented this? Human beings made of light. So we know light has information in it. All the light out here has information in it. So the cultivation of peace within yourself brings more light to you, which heals your mind and it heals your body. I wish it did it overnight, but we have to learn, first of all, to even be aware that we have this light, much less to get it to heal everything. So the power of visualization, imagination, creativity, intentions changes the world. The lack of that, dark thoughts, selfish thoughts, greedy thoughts, turns the light off. The light is still there, but those thoughts turn it off, just like a light switch. So the electricity is still inherent, and we could turn it back on. But when we think dark thoughts, it's just turning it off. It's still there. The light is still there. It's still inherent. So even though we're dealing with a lot of people turning the light off, the electricity is still on. The bills have been paid. There's still enough light. But we have to will it. We have to have the intention to actually feel light. So I could have said affirmations or prayers, chanting, singing, all of those things are the infusion of light. But I want to keep it just open so that you feel creative to design how you want to help to give service. It'll bring new ideas to you to maybe go volunteer somewhere to help dogs and cats, or to help children, or to help the elderly, or to help your neighbors. Maybe you see your elderly lady neighbor struggling and you just go over and volunteer. Oh, let me do that for you. There's a gentleman in the room right now who helps this elderly lady without me saying a word. That's seva. That's seva. So it's this joy, because when we do that, we get joy from it. And then that joy makes us think, I could do that. I wonder what else I could do. You see how I'm already thinking creatively? What else could I do now? Who else needs help? Gosh, I have this to offer. Where can I give it? Let me find out. Instead of going, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. You see, we talk ourselves out of it. We start dimming the light, dimming the light, dimming the light. If you catch yourself dimming your light, help yourself to well, let me do some of that light meditation work. Let me kind of rebuild my sense of awareness that I have light, that I can send out better ideas. Maybe you're a technology person, an engineer person. Hey, why don't you do some sitting work, just sitting quietly, and send out beautiful ideas into the world? Things that you've thought about, that you thought, gosh, I could probably build something like this, but it takes too much funding. Okay, send that idea out. There's an old, really, really old way of looking at that. And I love this little saying. It's called the rain cloud of all knowable things. So it means that a person in Australia and a person in Southern California can get the same idea at the same time because there's always all these ideas, rain cloud of ideas that are always available to all of us. But most of us are too self-involved thinking that we don't have anything and we don't. So we close down, you see. But these ideas are there. So maybe you're a techie person and an engineering kind of mind. That's those people are incredibly creative. I encourage you to dream, you who think like that. Dream of new ways of building ideas, to build new kinds of technology that serves not only humans, but the animals and the plants and the water and the environment, the planet. Whatever it is that you like to do, let yourself go with what you already know. Just like I told you, only teach what you know. If you know about, if you know about cooking, well, what are you learning about cooking that other people could benefit from? Even if you don't go out and teach them, when you sit and you ponder on the nature of light, let yourself ponder on really beautiful ideas that you know could help other people, even though you can't go out and do it yourself right now. Don't think you're wasting time. We waste time all day long. Da, 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 da. We got enough of that. Harness it in, focus these dreams, these visions, this imagination, this creativity. Vision it out so that it overpowers all thoughts of violence. I didn't want to use that word in the beginning. We need to counterbalance it. And one of the best ways is to think of these new, beautiful, wonderful ideas that help humanity. Dream about them. What would it feel like if everybody was fed and they could go to work well fed in their bellies, in their spiritual hearts, in their minds, well fed individuals going to work, going to school, well fed, well fed, well fed. Imagine what that would look like. We need that energy of what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would it feel like to live on a planet that's well fed, well taken care of? Where the thoughts were about love and expansion. Because the opposite of seva could be many things. But one of the opposites of seva is greed. More for me, never being satisfied. Because the light in the room didn't turn on. The light is there in anybody who's suffering from greed. But the refusal to turn the light on is also present. Because greed can also come from jealousy. Well, look at what you have. I want that. I'm going to take 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 that idea you had. And I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to take that car that you have and make it my own. Whatever it is. Greed makes us hungry, not well fed. We can never be well fed if we're suffering from greed. And we all suffer from greed in a variety of smaller ways. But in some people, it gets really, really big. Now, do I think that they're bad and we should shame them and blame them? Heck no. No. You send them light so that they could become aware that they too have light. They too have enough. They have enough to give. They don't have to be so afraid to hoard. It's about being aware. What we're talking about is being aware of anybody that's doing dark things. They have forgotten that they have light. Maybe they are not aware at all. Maybe it isn't about forgetting. Maybe they haven't been aware of it at all. So it'll make them want to take from others who have. And that can be literal stuff, opportunity stuff. Don't want to have people be happy just because they're happy. There is this thing also out in the world where, if you show up at and places and you're happy, people think, why are you so happy? Right? It's irritating. Ugh, can't stand it, She's always coming in all like, hi. It's like we think those people are so weird
Or stupid.
or stupid. A word I don't like to say. Huh?
Naive.
Naive. Yes, that's another word for it too. Yes. Oh, see what I mean? So this like taking their light, stealing it right in that moment. Ugh, why are you so happy? That's reaching out, grabbing somebody's joy, and tossing it away. Should we be upset with the person who did that? No, because then you're thinking the same thoughts that they're thinking that made them do that. Yes.
The most selfish thing you can do is help someone else because of your own gratification.
Say it to me again.
The most selfish thing you can do is help others because of your own gratification. You get
The most selfish thing that you can do is to
help others
help others.
because you feel so good about it.
Oh, because you feel so good about it?
Yeah, it makes you feel better.
Best that you just do it because, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's always good to be grateful, right? Yes. Gratitude is really the best possible thing that you can do. Am I saying this right? Let me read it. Sorry. I have helpers. This one, the joy of giving?
Yeah.
The joy of giving. The most selfish thing you can do is help someone else because the gratification. Nothing is better than that. Oh, you're still doing it for that reason, right?
Yeah, but it makes you feel good. So it's like,
So it has a good thing.
yeah.
It does have a good thing. That's exactly right. We always want to be just just give. It's joyful. Just give. Give of yourself. If somebody's like really, kind of having a bad day and they're just suffering from anger, you know, and you happen to cross their path, well, they're going to shoot a dart at you at that moment. But you want to remember, first of all, they have no idea who they're messing with. You are a force of light. You can't be wounded, even though it comes in and you're like, ow, why'd you do that to me? Now you have to be careful because now you're going to want to take that mess that they threw at you and you're going to want to throw it back. See. Now, where's your joy? Now you want to say they took it from you, but you took theirs too. Even though they walk off way going, hee, I got you. But no, you don't want to play that game. It's best that you know that if you get wounded in a moment, just one single little moment, be really, really careful to want to wound them. That's a hard one. We have to help ourselves to not want to wound others. That's seva. I'm not going to hurt them back. People say, well, you're being wimpy. No, no, I'm not. I don't want that in me. I don't want that to take from me, to steal from me. So when it comes inside of you, you have to process it so that you know you're not that all they did was throw mud at you. So wipe it off and don't give it back to anyone. It's not an easy thing. I'd love to tell you it's going to be easy, but it's much more difficult to send it back at them because now you wounded another person and that's going to come back to you again. And it's going to keep coming back to you until finally we were like, okay, no, enough. I'm not doing this. I'm walking away because I have enough peace inside of me to sustain me. So we don't want to hoard. We don't want to be greedy. We really don't. We have enough. The only reason why we get greedy is because we don't think we have enough. And people have so much. Some people have so much and they still have to have more. Okay. They have a suffering. Any sort of addiction means that you don't have enough of something because there's a certain feeling that you're looking for. You're looking for a high. And it's very difficult to get that high. And then once it's there, it fades away. And then you want more, and it fades away. You want more, and it keeps fading away. Until finally we're like, I really do want that feeling that I'm getting artificially. I really do want it naturally, but I'm not sure that it exists. So we practice inside. We practice inside giving love to others. Giving somebody like I said, says something negative about you, feel it, know it's there. Know in that single moment, because it's really hard in that single moment not to do this. In that single moment, help yourself to stay steady inside of yourself and walk away. And as you're walking away, breathe in, breathe in light to heal that wound that they just threw mud on. It's just mud. It's just mud. You can be okay from that. Somebody uses this finger and it hurts you, makes you upset, makes you go with all your fingers. Help yourself. Say, no, 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 no. No, no. You want to know that you want them not to win and you don't want you to win either. You just want to heal, get better, be strong so that you don't become the thing that you just disdained in the other person. You never want to become the things that you disdain in others. Help yourself to remember you do not want to become the thing that you find disdainful in others, because they're our mirror. And if we do exactly back to them what they did to us, it's a mirror. So it steals our joy. So you're going to have more of those. You're going to have more of those. I'm going to have more of those. We're going to have more of those. Lots of opportunities to become better. Lots of opportunities to heal. Lots of opportunities to learn peace. Every single day is an opportunity to learn peace. It's really kind of exciting if you think about it that way, because you're like, okay, I got work to do. Let me work today. Let me work on being centered within myself. Let me work on the power of light. So, seva, service. That is our word. Service. Seva. And we're going to be very watchful on greeting, being greedy, hoarding, taking. So, we are light. We are light. And light and sound are waves. They're made of waves and they move through us. They move through us, out from us. Sound and light are both waves. So let us end by sending waves of the sound Om out into the universe. Om. 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 Thank you so much for being here today. Peace be with you. Namaste.